Critter Trade's here, and today I'm going to tell you about all the common problems with the Subaru Impreza and Crosstrek. So first off, I want to say these are really good cars. They're really reliable, they get good mileage, they're easy to work on, and I've had mine for about 5 years, and I really haven't done much else other than oil changes on it. So I do highly recommend these cars. One of the weak points on these cars is the wheel bearings, not just the rear, but the fronts as well. People have mentioned that they've gone out in like 40,000 miles is pretty common actually. Mine are on the original ones. I don't believe they've ever been replaced. I'm at 110,000 miles and my car is a 2012, so it's 9 years old. They're getting a little noisy. They probably could use a replacement, but I haven't touched them yet. And the other thing too is the lug nut studs are pretty weak. They start to disintegrate and get broken down. I think a lot of it has to do with shops using air wrenches and not using anti-seize, for example, and just torquing them on there. I've had to replace a few of them already. Once I anti-seized them, I haven't had any issues though. In terms of the motors, the biggest issue that people have noticed with them is oil consumption. And Subaru knows about this problem, and if you're burning more than a quart of oil in 1,000 miles, that's when they're going to do something about it. They'll replace the short block if it's still under warranty. If you're burning around a quart in about 3,000 or 4,000 miles, that's actually pretty normal for these cars. So if your oil light, low oil light comes on, or you notice it's getting a little low around that range, I wouldn't worry about it too much. The main problem with the CVT and why they upped the warranty to 10 years and 100,000 miles is because there's a solenoid in the valve body that it goes bad pretty frequently. My car is still on the original one. I haven't had any issues at 110,000 miles. Heard of people having it go bad like right away, or 50, 60, 80. I've had people go up to 200,000 miles, 300,000 without an issue with it though, so it's kind of hit or miss. Basically, when the solenoid goes bad, they just replace the whole valve body. If you call Subaru of America, they'll do it for free if you're under the warranty. If you're out of the warranty period, still give them a call, because a lot of the times I've seen people where they get the entire repair covered even though they're out of warranty, or they'll cover like half of the price. Even if they don't cover anything, it's only about $1,200 to $1,500. So when you're looking at it compared to like a manual version of the car, a clutch job is a pretty similar price as well. So if you're looking to save money on reliability by going with a manual, you're not really saving a whole lot of money. It's kind of a wash. One of the known problems with these cars is they tend to have a long crank for when you're starting the car, or it won't turn on the first time you crank it. And it seems to be worse when it's hot outside. And that kind of has to do with it not putting enough fuel into the motor. And when it's warmer out, the fuel evaporates quicker, and so it's less likely to fire up. There's a TSB out for that, so you can get it fixed. It won't be covered under warranty. I have found if you have a little bit of a weak or an older battery, that makes it worse. I replaced my battery recently. It was a pretty old one, and I haven't had that issue since I replaced the battery. So that's something to look into if that's one of your issues. Another one is that the key will get stuck in the ignition. And when you put your car into park, what happens is there's a mechanism and a sensor in the shifter underneath here. And if that goes bad, it won't sense that the car is in park, and so it will lock your key and you won't be able to pull it out. If you wiggle the shifter forward and backward, or try pulling it back into drive and into park, you can do that to get it out if you're like in a jam and you need your key out. I would not recommend doing this yourself though. I've heard of Subaru Tech saying it's a pretty complicated job. Another common one in here is with the climate control. There's a resistor in the back here for your fan speed, and a lot of the times that'll burn out and you'll have to get a new connector inside the dash. It's not a super terrible fix to do. You kind of have to take apart your dash though to get in there to fix it. It's not an expensive part or anything, but that's a pretty common one. I haven't had an issue with that, but I've seen a lot of people have that problem. Another common problem is the hatch button under here is a soft rubber. It will start to break down and degrade over time, and when it's really hot out, it'll get kind of sticky and gunky. Super easy fix. I actually have a video, and I'll post a link up here for you where I show you how to fix that. It's a really easy one, but that's another really common issue. These wear out pretty easily on these cars. Another common one here is weak paint, and you can see there's some chips here. I've gotten a ton of chips when I was doing long-term commutes with this thing. It's just really common with Subarus. Any rock that hits is going to chip your paint, and it's kind of unsightly if you're doing a lot of freeway driving. salt rocks, dirt, that sort of stuff. It's just a real common issue, so make sure you get a touch-up pen. If you found this helpful, please subscribe because it's super helpful to me, and if there's any I forgot, post them down in the comments for other people to see. Thanks again.